Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for the Q&A, so let's go ahead and get this started. All right, first question. Why do you have some of your clients do no quad work other than speed squats? Isn't it too low volume? No. And I don't know where you came up with that. What do you think are quad exercises? I mean that as a serious question. Are you telling me that speed pulls don't work the quads? Of course they do. Of course they do. How about good mornings? You don't think they work the quads at all? Yeah, we could count them as half sets, maybe. About RDLs. Like, what is it that you think is a quad exercise? And here's the other question. Unless your goal is to just have enormous, massive quads, how big of quads do you really think you need to squat only 500 pounds? Okay. Keep in mind, I'm not coaching bodybuilders. I'm coaching powerlifters. I'm coaching tennis players, boxers, MMA fighters, people who just want to be strong and jacked in some cases. I'm not coaching bodybuilders. And I do mean this seriously. Do you think you need massive bodybuilder quads to squat 500 pounds? No. Now, that being said, we base it upon weak points. If I see a lifter who needs more quad, we do more quad work. But I'm not going to beat them up with a bunch of extra quad work that detracts from their real weak links. I can tell you right now, there's 10 times more likely of an issue that your adductors or your low back are limiting your squat than your quads are. Right? And we get stimulus from this stuff. We get stimulus from all the stuff in the quads. But then what happens if we do other things? What about if they're doing sled drags? Sled drags will blow your quads up if you have a strong squat. Okay, if you already squat over 400, and you start doing sled drags regularly, you'll probably have the biggest quads in your gym. But here's the other thing we come to. Some of my lifters do single leg exercises. Some do leg presses. Some do belt squats if they have access to stuff. I have people who train at home who just do belt squats for really high reps with the belt and don't have the machine. Okay. It's based upon what the client needs, but I can tell you right now, 90% of lifters who squat less than 500 pounds for men and maybe less than about 275 for women really don't need to be worried about their quads that much. Eventually they will probably need to, but at that level, no, they need to be focusing on their real weak points. The overwhelming majority of you out there are so quad dominant that you're going to hurt yourself, right? You're not going to stay in the game long term because you're too quad dominant already. The last thing you need is to add another 4 inches of meat to your quads when you have weak ass, tiny ass, underdeveloped hamstrings. Because if you do, you're going to be the people who give lifting a bad name. Oh, powerlifting hurts people. No, being a imbalanced dumbass hurts people. And I'm not trying to be mean, but most of you out there, that's the category you're in right now. And if you're quad dominant, I promise you're in that category. You're the problem. Fix it. All right, next question. Thoughts on adding 1/4 of something of Himalayan pink salt to a liter bottle of water for minerals? I saw E Hulse do a video on it. I personally don't like the flavor, but is there added benefits? I deal with it. So you just eat a balanced diet. The trace minerals in Himalayan pink salt are pretty small. I'm not saying they don't add up a little bit. I mean, I have a container of it here. I haven't used it in a while. But if I need to add some sodium to something, because my diet tends to be ridiculously low in salt, by all means. But E Hulse is admitted to being an enhanced lifter. I'm going to be honest, you use gear, you start adding too much salt to your food, don't cry. Don't cry when you suffer negative effects. God, sodium probably causes 50%. 50% of the negative side effects people get from using gear. Like half of them, if people just cut their salt intake, half of the negative side effects, health, bloating, everything would probably go away. Like 50%. just cut it in half. Why guys on gear want to throw salt and everything, I just don't get it, other than they're ignorant. Right? They're ignorant. You know, and if you need some sodium in your diet for some reason, like your diet is not high enough in sodium to meet your current needs of what you're doing, because maybe you sweat a lot with your job and you have zero processed food, none. 100% clean diet. Adding a little bit in there, but you better measure it, keep up with it. Don't let your salt get, dangerously high either, to where it affects blood pressure, bloating. Right? Be aware of that. But as far as there being real benefits of significant minerals, no, it's trace. I mean, it might help a little bit. If you need to add some salt for whatever reason, it would probably be, I guess, a slightly smarter choice. But that's only if you need to actually add salt to your diet. Minerals should be coming from a balance. You shouldn't be deficient in any mineral anyways. If you do, you need to be looking at the context of your overall diet. All right, next question. Coach, are weighted close grip push-ups a good assistance exercise to bench press? I don't think they're any better or any worse than any other assistance exercise. All right, do you need more tricep? Right? Do you need more tricep? Do you need more lockout strength on your benching? It's a question you need to ask. What do you have in your rotation for other options? Because at the end of the day, what are we doing with assistance work? We're rotating it. I would say, on average, for any given function, you need to have 4 assistance movements that you rotate through. If you're advanced. If you're less advanced, if you're a novice, 2. If you're an intermediate, maybe 3. But once you start getting advanced, you need to have 4 assistance movements. So I would say, with your question, it depends on what you have access to already. Do you have different barbells? Do you have chains and stuff already? I would downplay the importance of this for that specific role. You're low on equipment and you have to do weighted push-ups to a bar in your rack with a close grip. Again, if you need more bench lockout, more tricep, yeah, I think it's perfectly reasonable. I don't think it's a bad exercise at all. I think it's good. But the question is always context specific. I would rather see specialty bars be used here. I'd rather see chains be used here. But if you don't have access to those, I think it's a potentially very good assistance exercise if that is where you specifically need the work. Okay? If that's where you need the work. So, again, your question is very context specific, but it's fine. It's a good exercise. Is part of your rotation. Come back over to the other point. Should you be doing it all the time? No, but you shouldn't be doing any assistance movement really all the time, other than maybe some of your band work, reverse hyper, stuff like that. You need to be rotating through them. So it could be in your rotation. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.